All right, you sick fucks. Let's cut the crap. This shit's for grown folks. Only. So if you're easily offended, get the fuck out of here.
You've been warned.
Damn straight. Today we're diving deep into some seriously fucked up shit. What we're talking about. Sean Diddy, Combs the hip-hop mogul, the entrepreneur, the guy who was supposed to be a billionaire, but guess what?
He's facing some major legal trouble, and we're going to break it all down. News articles, legal analyses.
And even
the actual federal indictment against Diddy.
So buckle up, motherfuckers. This is going to be a wild ride. What exactly did this asshole do, and how did someone so powerful end up in this mess?
Well, what's fascinating here is how someone so powerful ended up in this mess. Let's start with the recent interagency operation at the Brooklyn jail where Diddy's being held.
Oh, yeah. His lawyers have been raising hell about the conditions there, calling them horrific. Apparently, the place is a shithole with a murder-for-hire plot and inmate deaths. It ain't the Four Seasons, that's for sure.
Yeah. And remember, Diddy's team is fighting hard to get him out on bail. They're even accusing the Department of Homeland Security of leaking damaging information to the press.
Trying to make him look guilty before the trial even starts.
Exactly, sounds like some shady bullshit to me.
But let's get to the heart of it, the federal indictment. What exactly are they accusing Diddy of?
He's facing multiple charges, including racketeering, conspiracy, sex trafficking, and transportation for prostitution.
Hold up, you telling me Diddy was running some kind of prostitution ring?
The indictment alleges that he ran a whole criminal enterprise, using violence, coercion, and drugs to exploit women for his own sexual gratification.
Freak off, seriously. What the fuck is wrong with this asshole?
And get this, during the raids on Diddy's homes, they found over 1,000 bottles of baby oil and lubricant.
Jesus Christ, what a sick fuck.
Yeah.
But let's get back to the indictment. What's this racketeering conspiracy shit all about?
Well, that's a key part of the case. A racketeering conspiracy charge means they're accusing him of using his entire business empire.
Bad Boy Records.
Sean John, all of it, to facilitate and cover up his criminal activities.
So basically he was using his companies to pimp out women. What an asshole.
It's complicated, but that's the gist of it, and the indictment details some disturbing incidents. For example, in 2016, Diddy allegedly assaulted a woman who was trying to leave a hotel room.
Picking her, dragging her, throwing a vase at her.
Yeah.
Damn, that's fucked up.
Yeah.
But he's got other potential victims lining up to testify, right?
There are a number of potential witnesses and victims who could be called to testify. Cassie Ventura, Diddy's ex, has already sued him for abuse. Then there's Rodney Jones, a producer who claims Diddy drugged and threatened him. And there's a Jane Doe case alleging Diddy was involved in a gang rape back in 2003.
This is dark shit. What about Dawn Richard from Danity Kane? Didn't she have some beef with Diddy too?
Richard has accused Diddy of years of physical and sexual abuse and says he withheld her pay. And there's April Lampros, who claims Diddy sexually assaulted her multiple times back in the 90s.
This has been going on for decades, and yet this motherfucker was about to be a billionaire. Unbelievable.
And despite all his wealth, Diddy was denied bail twice.
Why the hell is that? I mean, the guy's loaded. He could easily skip town and live like a king somewhere else.
In federal court, it's not just about the money. They consider the flight risk, the danger to the community, and the possibility of witness tampering. In this case, the judge was concerned about all three.
So they think he might try to silence these women.
Well, there's evidence of that. After Dawn Richard filed her lawsuit, Diddy allegedly bombarded Kalena Harper with 58 phone calls in 4 days. The judge saw that as potential witness intimidation.
Damn, 58 calls. This nigga's desperate. But let's be real. This is Diddy. We're talking about the guy's got a history of shady shit.
Absolutely. We need to remember his rise to fame as Puff Daddy, his success in music and business,
And the controversies that have followed him.
the 1999 nightclub shooting, the lawsuits, the abuse allegations. This dark side has always been there, lurking beneath the surface.
And now it's all coming to light. It's like watching an empire crumble before our eyes. It raises serious questions about power, accountability, and the dark side of the music industry.
It's fascinating to see the reactions from the entertainment world. 50 Cent is, of course, loving this.
50 Cent's basically saying, I told you so.
Right, but there are others like Aubrey O'Day and Keisha who are speaking out in support of the alleged victims.
What I find really telling is the silence from many of Diddy's close associates. It's deafening.
Those niggas are probably too scared to piss him off. They know what this asshole is capable of. This whole thing is like watching an empire crumble before our eyes. It raises serious questions about power, accountability, and the dark side of the music industry.
But you know what? Am I surprised this industry chews people up and spits them out? It's a breeding ground for exploitation and abuse.
And for too long, people have been afraid to speak out. They're afraid of losing their careers, of being blacklisted, of facing retaliation.
But maybe, just maybe, this is the beginning of a reckoning.
It's too early to say, but this case could have ripple effects throughout the music industry and beyond.
We'll be here to cover every twist and turn. We'll dive deep into the allegations, the evidence, the legal strategies, and the potential fallout. We'll unpack this whole Diddy mess and try to make sense of it all.
Stay tuned, this is just the tip of the iceberg, so we've talked about this legal shitstorm brewing around Diddy.
But let's not forget, this motherfucker built himself up from nothing, started from the bottom and hustled his way to the top.
Bad Boy Records.
Sean John.
Ciroc the man's a marketing genius.
He was on track to join the Billionaires Club.
Forbes estimated his net worth at $740 million back in 2019.
He might not have hit $1 billion yet, but he was damn close.
But money and fame don't erase the past, and this ain't the first time Diddy's been in hot water.
Oh, hell no. There's that whole 1999 nightclub shooting incident. He was acquitted, but his protege, Shine, ended up serving a decade in prison.
And then you've got all these lawsuits over the years, allegations of assault, abuse, shady business dealings. It's a long-ass list.
It's almost like this pattern of behavior has been ignored for too long, swept under the rug because of his fame and fortune. People were willing to look the other way because he was Diddy.
The hip-hop mogul.
Exactly, and now what?
The chickens are coming home to roost.
And you know what? I'm not shedding a single tear for this asshole.
It's going to be interesting to see how this whole thing plays out in court. If these allegations are true, this could be the end of Diddy as we know him.
His reputation is already shot to hell. This is like watching a goddamn Shakespearean tragedy, the rise and fall of a hip-hop titan, except this ain't no fucking play. This is real life, and there are real victims who have suffered because of this piece of shit.
If these women are telling the truth, it means Diddy was using his power and influence to exploit and abuse them.
Preying on their vulnerability, using his money and his status to control them. Classic case of abuse of power made us.
It's even more disturbing when you consider the context of the music industry, an industry that's notorious for its exploitation of young artists, especially women.
This industry is full of predators. And Diddy was supposed to be different. He was supposed to be the one who lifted up the black community, who paved the way for others.
And maybe he did do some good, but if these allegations are true, it all rings hollow. It's a slap in the face to everyone he claimed to represent.
It's a stark reminder that even the most successful, the most celebrated individuals can have a dark side, and we can't let money and fame blind us to the truth. We got to hold these motherfuckers accountable.
Absolutely. We have to hold people accountable for their actions regardless of their status. The justice system needs to work for everyone, not just the rich and powerful.
This whole situation has sparked a conversation. People are finally talking about the culture of silence in the music industry.
About how we need to do better to protect those who are vulnerable.
And that's a good thing. This case could be a catalyst for real change. Maybe some good can come out of all this bullshit.
It's too early to say what the ultimate outcome will be, but one thing's for sure, this is a story that's going to have ripple effects throughout the music industry and beyond.
And we'll be here to cover every twist and turn. We'll keep digging, we'll keep asking tough questions, and keep shining a light on the dark underbelly of this industry. No more bullshit, no more silence. It's time for some goddamn accountability. So, we've laid out the charges, the evidence, the potential fallout. It's a whole lot to unpack.
But this shit goes way beyond Diddy. This whole thing exposes some deeply fucked up aspects of the entertainment industry.
It's like this whole casting couch bullshit never really went away. They just got better at hiding it.
It's ghastly, and it's not just Hollywood, it's music fashion. Any of these glamorous worlds where powerful people prey on the vulnerable, exploitation thrives in these industries.
Because everyone's scared to speak up.
They're afraid of losing their careers.
Of getting blacklisted.
Becoming another casualty of the system.
Or worse, they're afraid of facing retaliation from these powerful assholes.
And let's be real, the justice system doesn't always work for the victims, especially when they're going up against someone like Diddy with all his money and power and a whole army of lawyers to protect him.
It's a goddamn uphill battle, man. The odds are stacked against anyone who tries to hold these motherfuckers accountable.
But you know what? Something feels different this time.
I don't know if it's the hashtag #MeToo movement or the sheer number of allegations against Diddy, but it feels like people are finally starting to listen.
Maybe the tide is turning. Maybe people are finally getting pissed off enough to demand change.
There's still a long way to go. But this case could be a real turning point, a wake-up call for the whole industry.
It's a reminder that we can't just worship at the altar of fame and fortune. We can't turn a blind eye to the shitty things these people do just because they make catchy music or fancy clothes.
We got to hold our idols accountable, even when it's uncomfortable.
We got to be willing to call out bullshit when we see it, no matter who it comes from.
And we got to support the victims, believe their stories, even when it's hard, because this shit has gone on for far too long.
It's time for a goddamn reckoning time to expose the truth and hold these predators accountable.
Maybe, just maybe, Diddy's downfall will be the catalyst for real change. Maybe his case will finally force the industry to clean up its act.
It's a sobering thought, but sometimes it takes a major scandal to shake things up, to make people realize how fucked up things really are.
So where do we go from here?
We wait, we watch, we see how this whole legal shitstorm plays out.
And we keep talking.
We keep pushing for accountability. We keep fighting for justice.
Because this isn't just about Diddy. It's about creating a world where this kind of abuse can't flourish, where victims feel safe to come forward and speak their truth without fear of retaliation.
A world where power doesn't equal impunity, where no one is above the law, no matter how rich or famous they are.
That's the world I want to live in.
Me too, man. Me too.
All right, folks, that's our deep dive into the Diddy saga. It's methy, it's complicated, and it's far from over. This is a story that's going to have a lasting impact on the music industry and beyond.
So keep your eyes peeled, your ears open, and keep those conversations going, because the truth always comes out in the end.
Peace out.